What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about Gabrielle Union going 50-50 financially with her husband, Dwyane Wade. And before I get into this video, I'm going to give a disclaimer. And the disclaimer is that overall, when it's all said and done, everyone sets the criteria for his or her individual relationships. What works for one person may not work for another person, and vice versa. And ultimately, the criteria that you set for your relationship and the standards, etc., it has to work for you. Also, another disclaimer. I do believe that people should be going 50-50 in a sense that you contribute something to the relationship and the other person contributes something to the relationship. You know, it shouldn't be like, oh, one person's contributing like 10% to the relationship and the other person's contributing 90% to the relationship. And it shouldn't be like that because that wouldn't be fair. And also, people do ultimately put value on people's contributions to the relationship. People put a high value on financial contributions. Unfortunately, in many communities, especially the Black community, I think that people don't put as high of a value on, say, like, you know, raising children, domestic work, you know, birthing children, etc. And perhaps part of the reason why that is just because maybe people feel like those things can't be quantified financially speaking. You know, so that's the disclaimer. So let's get into this. So Gabrielle Union, she is going 50-50 financially speaking with her husband. And some people feel like, that's a bit weird considering the difference when it comes to their net worths. Like, her husband's net worth is significantly more than her net worth. Not that Gabrielle is broke, but it's just seemingly Dwyane has a lot more money, at least from what we know. I don't have a bank account statement, so I can't verify that. But from what we know, right? So seemingly, Gabrielle Union would be in a hypergamous relationship. And as well, seemingly, Dwyane Wade would have the finances to make it so Gabrielle Union does not have to go 50-50. You know, because, seemingly he could probably take care of the bills, with the amount of money that he has. And also some people bringing up that, seemingly Gabrielle Union, she's in a hypergamous relationship, a Black hypergamous relationship, but seemingly doesn't get the benefits of it. Which is strange because also some people brought up some things that I'll bring up in this video, and that is, word on the street is Gabrielle Union, was the home wrecker. She quote unquote stole Dwyane Wade from some woman. I think the previous mother of his children, or the mother of his children who he was previously with before her, Gabrielle Union. So she went and, became a home wrecker to get Dwyane Wade. Also, Gabrielle Union, she didn't have any kids at the time that their relationship started. Also, Gabrielle Union has accepted an extramarital child from an affair that Dwyane Wade had when they were on a break or something like that. Also, she may possibly be a beard. That's what somebody brought up. So I'll put that in there too. So she is helping Dwyane Wade maintain his image. Also, from Gabrielle's admission, I think on Sway in the Morning, she eating Dwyane Wade's booty like groceries. So it's like, what's the point of doing all that just to go 50-50? What's the benefit, of doing all that just to go 50-50? What benefit is this relationship really serving Gabrielle Union? If you have to be a homewrecker, if you have to be playing stepmama, if you have to deal with and accept an extramarital child, if you have to be a beard and eat the booty like groceries, if you have to do all this and still go 50-50, what's the point? And really, I think, if you eating the booty like groceries, then you don't need to be having to contribute anything financially to the relationship. Because obviously you're doing, the freaky things that her husband wants. And, that's their business. But the thing is, Gabrielle Union shared it. So that's partly why we're here now. And that's part of the thing, too. I think sometimes these celebrity couples be sharing a bit too much about their relationships. It's good in the sense that we can have conversations about it, but it's bad in the sense because it's like, that's a little bit too much. But, when Gabrielle shared this information, there were people defending her saying, what's wrong with that? That ain't a problem. It's all good in the hood, Gabrielle Union going 50-50 with her husband. But the thing is, though, the same people who are defending this, right, they wouldn't be defending going 50-50 financially speaking if this was the rapper Eve or Serena Williams or the actress Jodie Turner-Smith. Basically, if the black woman was in some sort of an interracial relationship and she was in a situation like this, I guarantee you the same people defending this would be the same people clowning Eve, clowning Serena Williams, clowning Jodie Turner-Smith for being in a situation like this. So, oh yeah, one more thing before I get into that. Y'all remember that black woman who was with that white basketball player and the rumor that came out that, she only got $100 from him while she was with him and they were together for a few years and she only got $100. That was the rumor. Right? And when that rumor came out, the black male content creators on social media who talk about topics like this were going in and clowning her based on the rumor, which I don't even think the rumor was true, but still, of course, folks gonna go, folks, when it comes to black women, especially when it's something negative, they're gonna run with it. But I bring up these examples to say that, I think on some level we do, as a community, we know how relationships are traditionally supposed to go. Now, we may want to break tradition when it's beneficial for black men for some reason. when it's like, oh, money isn't everything when the black man don't really got a lot of money, right? Oh, raising kids is important and, taking care of the home is important too when the black man is doing it. And also, isn't this technically feminism, which many black men and black women claim to dislike? I mean, Gabrielle Union, she's going 50-50 financially. That's not traditional. That's feminism. Or at least is leaning towards feminism, because if Gabrielle Union was taking care of the majority of the bills, that would definitely fall under feminism. And if that was the case, I feel like, a whole bunch of people in the community would want to defend that for some reason and say that that's all good in the hood. But again, if this was Eve, Serena Williams, Jodie Turner-Smith, etc., saying that they pay the majority of the bills, right? All of a sudden, we know what traditionalism is and that traditional gender roles are very important, and men's supposed to provide and protect, and women's supposed to be nurturing and taking care of the children and household and all that stuff. And for the guys who are interested in the 50-50 relationship, right? Financially, right? The thing is, though, for the woman to do that, she has to have a good career where that she is financially afforded the money necessary, the money that's needed to go 50-50. So, because of that, her career and her education that helped her get the career, those would be factors. So, it's more than just feminine, friendly, and fit. Especially when it's a black woman. It's all like, what you bring to the table? Besides your weave and makeup and bad attitude, what you bring to the table, black woman? And also, going 50-50, it often can take women out of their femininity. But I think folks, they'll make an exception in this case. In this case, it's all like, gender equality, we all have to be equal and contribute. Right? When convenient. But then talk about, how women shouldn't have the right to an abortion. To abort kids that you don't want, by the way. So that was strange. I don't know why black men was hooping and hollering about that, acting like they won. I guess because they feel like, now black women can abort black male babies that they don't want, and that these dudes don't want. They don't want to take care of them, whether it's financially or just, doing other fatherly, paternal things. But at this point, I think it's pretty clear that the black community, not everybody, but more than enough, the black community wants black women to date down financially, to go 50-50 at least. Really, they would like it to be maybe even more than black women doing 50%. Want black women to build a brother up while at the same time being, feminine, friendly, fit, submissive, birth and raise children, do domestic work, do wifely duties, and never ever be in a bad mood ever. Which just isn't realistic. And the community wants black women to be like Gabrielle Union and Iyanla Vanzant. Not like Ebony K. Williams. They don't want that. And also, a quick sidebar. Iyanla Vanzant is not to be trusted, at least when it comes to black women. Honestly, I don't even think at all. But the thing is, though, it's not even the very terrible dating advice that doesn't even work for Iyanla that got me, doing a side eye. The thing is, when Ebony K. Williams got all that backlash, why didn't Iyanla come to Ebony's defense in some way against the backlash? Especially if she did not mean to put Ebony in a bad situation like that. Because Iyanla posed that question. She could have came out and said something to the extent of, at least like, we got to have patience with our younger sisters. We got to give grace to our younger sisters because we don't always have the answers. None of us are perfect. Ebony is on her journey too. So we got to give that sister some grace. Beloved. So I didn't see that. Maybe she did it and it just didn't make the blogs. If that is the case, then, please let me know. But back to the topic. But yeah, the community wants black women to date down financially, go 50-50 at least, build a brother up, while at the same time being friendly, fit, feminine, submissive, birth and raise children, do domestic work, do wifely duties, be fit as fiddle, and never be in a bad mood. And the thing is, if black women are doing all this, then what are black men doing? What are black men contributing to the relationship? And, many times these dudes will talk about financial contributions, which is great. But the thing is, like, you're stingy, though. So what is the financial contribution really going to be? And also, is it going to be like pulling teeth to get you to actually contribute financially? And as well, I don't ever really hear these dudes talking about being, good fathers to children. Again, I don't really think that is a priority for the bulk of, these dudes. And another thing, do you guys think that Jeannie Mai, right? Jeannie Mai, who's married to Jeezy, do you think she's going 50-50? If you had to guess, do you think that Jeannie Mai is going 50-50 with Jeezy? Do you think that if it comes out that she is not going 50-50 with Jeezy, do you think that she would be shamed? Do you think the Kardashians are going 50-50 with their black kings? Their high-earning, basketball-playing, rapping black kings? Probably not. And if it does come out that is the case, like, oh, Kardashians ain't going 50-50. What do you think is going to happen? I don't really think anything going to happen. I don't think folks going to be really surprised by that. I don't think folks are going to give the Kardashians a hard time about that. And the same with Jeannie Mai. No. But I do want to switch gears right quick and talk about Gabrielle Union a little bit. And I'll say that, I'll have some grace for Gabrielle Union. And I'll have some grace because Gabrielle Union, she was a victim of trauma. Really just being a black woman in the black community can be traumatizing. With the colorism, the featureism, the texturism, the fetishization, little to no protection, being unalived every 4 to 5 hours. That alone can be traumatizing. But also, Gabrielle Union was a victim of RAPE. And it was done at gunpoint, too. And no one ever seems to really mention this and connect this to some of the behaviors that she may engage in, or even use it as like an excuse for her. And when black men experience trauma, that is definitely pushed to the forefront when it comes to their issues that they may be having, right? Like, oh, Kanye West acting like that because his mama passed away. And it's like, well, yeah, his mom did pass away, but that was over a decade ago. While at the same time, Megan the Stallion's mother, father, and grandmother all passed away within around the same time, more or less, as each other. And I don't really see that being brought up when it comes to the behavior that Megan has engaged in and trying to defend that behavior with saying, like, oh, she may be going through trauma because of dealing with the loss of her mother, father, and grandmother. But in regards to Gabrielle Union, I think, honestly, I do feel like Gabrielle Union may kind of want to go 50-50, though. I'm kind of getting that vibe. I could be wrong, but I kind of get that vibe that I think she does want to go 50-50. For some reason, I think it may give her a sense of control and maybe a sense of entitlement. And she may not be the type of woman who really wants to be submissive to her husband like that. And going 50-50 gives her more leverage to not be submissive in a relationship. And, ultimately, if it works for their relationship, then it works for their relationship, and that's good for them, right? So I'm ultimately, I'm not in the relationship, so I'm not going to say and act like I'm the relationship expert. But I do want to say that it shouldn't be pushed on the black community, for black women to go 50-50 financially speaking. Just like the community can push back against Ebony K. Williams, they can push back against this. But notice, there hasn't been that much pushback on this. Not to say that no one has pushed back, because there has been, but not to the extent that Ebony K. Williams received when it came to the pushback and the backlash. And I think this situation with Gabrielle Union, it happened at a great time. Because it shows you how the community is thinking, where the community is at when it comes to relationship contributions for black women and black men. And the community is more comfortable with Gabrielle Union and her situation versus Ebony Williams and her situation. And I think that's ultimately because I think that has been the norm in the community for quite a while. Because I think historically, at least in the United States, I don't think black women have really been like, quote unquote, like traditional housewives and, traditional stay-at-home moms. I think that concept may actually be new to the black community. And honestly, if you think about it, I think perhaps maybe black women should have had some sort of an movement of their own that advocated for that to be an option for black women, to be stay-at-home moms, to be stay-at-home wives, to be housewives. Because, feminism, white feminism, I don't think a lot of that really appealed to black women, because black women had already been working outside the home for such a long time already. So really, I feel like black women, if they were to, push a movement, it probably should be to push a movement for more, quote unquote, traditional relationship gender norms in the Black community. But Black women have gone along with mainstream society when it comes to, women working outside the home, which is ultimately fine if that's what Black women want. Because all these decisions, like that Black women make and just people make in general, these decisions do have to work for you in whatever your situation is. But I'm going to bring this video to a close. I don't want to go on for too long, so I'm bringing this video to a close. Thanks a lot for watching. Please let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.